Denver police officer shot in Broomfield. The latest after a dangerous confrontation at a busy intersection, the crashes and carjackings leading to the shooting, and what we know about the shooter. Making a second landfall, Ian is back to hurricane status again, powering up the Atlantic coast, moving towards the Carolinas. This as people in Florida are just beginning to get a grasp of all the damage. And the Broncos head to Vegas. Can they get the offense on track in Sin City against a winless rival in the Raiders? Thanks so much for joining us for Denver 7 News at 11. I'm Jason Grenauer. A Denver police officer is recovering this morning from a gunshot wound to the neck after he was shot during a confrontation in Broomfield. Denver 7's Jessica Crawford is following the story live in Broomfield. Jessica, what are investigators saying today?
Well, today investigators are saying that thankfully that officer is on the mend right now. But as that officer continues to recover from that gunshot wound to the neck, people who were nearby the scene can still remember those gunshots, and they also remember desperately trying to figure out what was going on in their neighborhood.
I literally heard 6 pops. Pop, 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 one right after another. And it was in that direction towards Midway and Sheridan, and immediately I got on Twitter, and I even called the police and I said, hey, there's some shots. And they just kind of knew when I called right off the bat. They're like, is it about the shots? I'm like, yeah. And they confirmed that someone got shot.
And here's what police are telling us happened. Denver officers were tracking a warrant fugitive here in Broomfield when his car got into a wreck at Sheridan and Midway. He got out and tried to carjack another vehicle but couldn't, and shot at police who went to confront him. One officer, a 20-year veteran of the force, got hit in the neck but will survive. The suspect was shot and killed by police. People who were near the area at the time of the shooting say they never expected anything like this to happen.
Concerned because it's supposed to be a really safe community, so it's not like something that you really see here.
You wouldn't have thought that you'd come out and see this in your neighborhood?
No, not at all.
And we are working to learn more about that officer. Again, we do know that he is a 20-year veteran of the Denver Police Department. They do say that he was stable, communicating with doctors, and that his prognosis is good. As far as the investigation, part of it is now in the hands of the 17th Judicial Incident Response Team. It oversees police use of force investigations. Live in Broomfield, I'm Jessica Crawford, Denver 7.
A very scary incident there, Jessica. Thank you for that update. Well, Ian is back to hurricane status and is now threatening a second landfall, this time along the coastline of the southeast U.S. The storm is set to become the largest natural disaster in Florida's history. Search and rescue efforts are still underway there right now. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez reports from Fort Myers, Florida, where Ian caused some of the worst damage.
We want to give you a look at some of the damage that we're seeing in Fort Myers today. All of this is now a boatyard. You can see boats just packed on top of each other, and this is only part of the picture. There are boats and more destruction behind this. It just goes on and on. We can also see parts of the dock here as well. Later on today, search and rescue efforts are going to continue, as well as door to door. They're going to be performing wellness checks. We know that here in Lee County there are at least 5 deaths because of Hurricane Ian.
Some of these images that you're showing me, it's the first time I've seen them. It's pretty emotional for me.
2 days after Hurricane Ian slammed into Florida's southwest coast, and many are only just beginning to grapple with the damage and devastation left behind.
Being so hardworking honestly doesn't matter. It just is destroyed and it's ruined, and then you have to start all over again. And honestly, where do you start? How do you start in this?
Millions are still without power, and others still with no access to clean water.
It looks like a bomb went off here, to be honest with you. It's beyond what I thought was capable of happening.
Hundreds have had to be rescued so far, plucked from roofs and partially submerged cars. Those on islands like Sanibel cut off from the mainland after the causeway collapsed, needing rescue by helicopter or boat.
There's a whole bunch of people just like y'all, thousands of them, take you to a shelter.
Now, Ian is expected to head toward the Carolinas and northeast Georgia after intensifying again to a Category 1 hurricane in the Atlantic Ocean. Those governors have issued state of emergency orders ahead of the storm, and many residents are being told to hunker down.
It's going to be a little bit hairy. 6-foot surge, with a 6-foot tide, we're going to be at 12 feet. That's about the maximum a lot of houses out here can take on the first floor.
A curfew has been set in Lee County until further notice. City officials here are saying it could take weeks, if not months, to recover. In Fort Myers, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Now, it's still early, but Ian could be one of the costliest storms in U.S. history. One early estimate pegs the reconstruction cost to insurance companies at a staggering $258 billion. And Florida's insurance market was in trouble before Ian. This year alone, at least 6 insurance companies have gone bankrupt. In the same time, Florida's population has skyrocketed. Now, this puts pressure on the remaining companies, including the taxpayer-backed Citizens Insurance Corp. Now, Florida already has the highest premiums in the nation. One state lawmaker believes those premiums could skyrocket by 40% next year because a Florida law allows the state to hit residents with what amounts to a hurricane tax to create funding to pay those claims. Now, as we see the damage and devastation throughout the Southeast, a new study putting some of the blame for the degree of damage on climate change. Researchers say that for every extra degree Celsius warmer, the air in the atmosphere can hold 7% more water. That caused Hurricane Ian to be able to drop 10% more water. They say the Gulf of Mexico was 0.8 of a degree warmer than normal. They warn it may not sound like much, but adding 2 inches of rain to the 20 inches that already fell could make a difference when it comes to damage and flooding. Now, the images and stories coming out of Florida are heartbreaking. But before you donate to try to help hurricane victims, the Better Business Bureau says make sure you're picking a charity that can actually help.
You also want to know, does the charity already have a presence in the impacted area? A lot of times someone in your hometown might be trying to help out, but it might take a lot longer for that relief to get there. You also want to know, is this an experienced charity that has all the resources to actually have impact?
You the good that our Denver 7 Gives initiative, along with the Scripps Howard Foundation, can do. So now we're putting that effort towards storm relief to make sure every dollar gets to people in need. You can text STORM to 50155 and follow the prompts. You can also scan the QR code there on your screen or visit denver7.com/hurricane relief. Well, back here at home, it's the last day of September, and Mother Nature is bringing us a bit of a change for the start of October. A live look from our Lookout mountain cam. Some clouds out there. That's going to change. Meteorologist Stacey Donaldson here with the cool off to come. Hi, Stacey.
It looks good. Hi there. We're going to cool things down going into October. It was our 3rd hottest summer and 3rd hottest September we've ever had here in Denver. And we have some clouds moving in with a cold front coming in from the northwest. So our temperature is dropping today into the upper 70s for highs, and we'll have rain moving in for the afternoon and evening. That rain into northwestern Colorado right now, it's coming this direction. So looks like we'll be dealing with that rain as we head into the later part of the day. And it's thanks to that cold front coming this direction. Now, cooler air will be coming in behind that. Obviously, we'll have showers and storms also with this front as it's moving through. So those temperatures, they're going to drop off and not only be in the 70s today, but in the 60s tomorrow. We'll have these scattered showers here as we head through the evening hours. They should be letting up later on tonight. But we'll talk more about that even cooler air coming for tomorrow in a few minutes.
All right, Stacey, thank you. And a reminder, you can get 24/7 Colorado weather updates and live radar on your TV. Just download the free Denver 7 Plus app for your favorite streaming device. Police in Boulder are asking for your help to identify additional victims in a child sex crimes investigation that dates back to 2019. Alir Sokolaj, who goes by Jack, worked at a pizza shop across from Boulder High School and had numerous contacts with underage girls that year. He was arrested in May for sex assault from that investigation, and now officers want more victims to come forward. Some breaking news now. Lakewood police have made an arrest in a deadly hit and run that we've been telling you about really all morning. Police say it happened last night at West Colfax and Kendall Street. A driver going westbound on Colfax hit a pedestrian and took off. Now, just within the last 10 minutes, police have announced the arrest of Irene Martinez. She was tracked down in Aurora and brought to the Jefferson County Jail. She'll face charges of leaving the scene of an accident involving death. To the Broncos now, their schedule becomes a bit more familiar this weekend against a division rival in the Raiders this Sunday. They meet the former Oakland Raiders, now Las Vegas Raiders, for the first time this season, and a familiar face in their head coach, Josh McDaniels. The Raiders are currently winless, 0-3 on the season, in last place in the AFC West. But if you ask the players, the record doesn't really matter in these kinds of games.
Because of the fact that, you know what I mean, we see each other twice a year. It always comes down to like how we play against each other for our like postseason berths and stuff like that. So as an organization, as a team, that we just gotta hate them.
Our fans are the best in the league, and you know, we're gonna go out there and prove that we're still the best defense in the league.
Yeah, man. You know, coming in, everybody hated the Raiders, so you just gotta hop on that bandwagon. But you know, as you can see from last year, you know, we really don't like them; they don't like us. So it is what it is. So it's gonna be fun.
Quote, everybody hates the Raiders. A good one. Now, Sunday should be fun, but we're also already looking ahead to Thursday night football, which you can watch right here on Denver 7 when the Broncos take on the Colts Thursday night. We are the only broadcast station that's carrying that game. Our coverage starts at 5 p.m., kickoff just after 6, then stick with us for post-game coverage. ABC's Thursday night premieres of the shows of Station 19, Grey's Anatomy, and Alaska Daily. Those are going to air on Thursday night. They will just be over on our sister station, Local 3, starting at 7 p.m. Well, water levels at a popular lake in the Colorado High Country, they're going down, but it's nothing you should worry about. Why the drop and when those levels will go back up? And October is here this weekend with plenty of fun fall events here in Colorado. We've got some of the highlights with our Friday Denver 7 Things to Do.